Chosen one, the universe is repositioning you. Doors are opening you haven't noticed yet. Something in you already knows things are about to shift. You felt it before you understood it. That subtle restlessness. That sense that the version of your life you've been living in doesn't quite fit anymore. That's not anxiety. That's not random. That's the feeling of being repositioned. The universe doesn't announce itself with fireworks most of the time. It announces itself with this exact feeling, minus the quiet, persistent sense that something is about to move, even before you can see what. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share is going to put language to something you've already been sensing. You've been waiting so long that waiting has started to feel like your identity. Let's be honest about where you actually are right now. You've worked hard. You've stayed faithful to your goals, even when nobody was watching. You've shown up day after day for a future you can feel but cannot yet hold in your hands, and somewhere along the way, the waiting started to feel less like a season and more like a sentence. You scroll past people who seem to be moving faster than you. You wonder if you missed your moment. You wonder if the doors that opened for others simply skipped your address. Here's what I need you to hear before we go any further. Delay is not denial. The fact that something hasn't arrived yet does not mean it isn't coming. Seeds don't announce their growth while they're underground. The most important development often happens in the part of the process you can't see. What you're feeling right now, minus this mixture of exhaustion and quiet hope minus, is not a sign that you're being left behind. It's the exact feeling that precedes a shift. And today we're going to walk through what that shift actually requires of you, what it tends to look like, and how to recognize it the moment it begins. 1. Repositioning always feels like discomfort before it feels like progress. Here's something almost nobody tells you about growth. It rarely feels good while it's happening. Right before something genuinely shifts in a person's life, there is almost always a period of unease, a restlessness that doesn't have an obvious cause, a sense that the current version of your life, minus even the comfortable parts of it, has stopped fitting the way it used to. This discomfort is not a malfunction. It's a signal. It means the old configuration of your life is loosening to make room for the next one. You cannot move into a new season while gripping tightly to the old one. And the discomfort you're feeling is the natural friction of that letting go. If you've felt unusually unsettled lately, dissatisfied with things that used to satisfy you, aware of a gap between where you are and where you sense you're meant to be that's not a problem to fix. That's evidence that something in you is already preparing for what's next. 2. The people and situations that drain you are being cleared, not punished. Pay attention to anything that's recently started to feel heavier than it used to. A friendship that's gone quiet. A situation that's become more frustrating than it should be. An environment that no longer feels like it fits. This is not misfortune. This is clearing. Growth requires space, and space often has to be made by the gentle removal of things that no longer belong in the next version of your story. It doesn't always feel gentle in the moment. Sometimes it feels like loss, like rejection, like things falling apart instead of falling into place. But consider this: you cannot carry everything from your old chapter into your new one and expect the new chapter to have room to become what it's meant to be. The discomfort of loosening grip on certain people, habits, or situations is often the exact mechanism by which more aligned things find their way to you. Trust what's being cleared. It's not being taken from you. It's being moved out of the way. 3. Your idea. Patience has been building something you cannot yet see every day you've shown up without immediate reward. Minus every effort that seemed to go unnoticed. Every step forward that didn't produce visible results. Minus has been accumulating in a place you don't have access to yet. Think of it the way you'd think of compound interest. The early deposits look insignificant. The growth curve, for a long time, looks almost flat. And then, at a certain point, it bends sharply upward. Minus not because something magical happened in that single moment, but because everything invested before that moment finally reached critical mass. You are not behind. You are in the flat part of the curve, where the work is real, but the visible results haven't caught up yet. This is the part most people quit in minus. Not because the effort wasn't working, but because the proof hadn't arrived yet to confirm it. Stay in it. The proof is coming. It is built from exactly what you've already done. 4. Recognizing opportunity requires releasing the specific picture you've been holding. Here's something that quietly sabotages a lot of people on the edge of real change. They've decided, very specifically, what the next good thing is supposed to look like. And because they're so focused on that exact picture, they miss the version that's actually arriving, minus because it doesn't match the image in their head. Growth rarely shows up in the costume we expect. The opportunity that changes everything is sometimes disguised as an inconvenience. The conversation that redirects your whole path sometimes feels, in the moment, like a disappointment. The door that actually leads somewhere often looks completely different from the door you'd been imagining. This doesn't mean abandon your goals. It means hold them with open hands instead of a closed fist. Stay clear about the feeling you're working toward minus security, peace, purpose, connection minus, and stay flexible about the exact form it arrives in. The people who recognize their opportunities are rarely the ones who predicted the exact shape correctly. They're the ones who stayed awake enough to notice it when it showed up looking different than expected. 5. Your inner steadiness is what allows you to receive bigger things. This is one of the most overlooked principles in any conversation about growth, expansion, or new opportunity. Capacity matters as much as opportunity does. A person who is internally chaotic minus anxious, scattered, governed by scarcity and fear, will often sabotage good things even when those things arrive, because their internal state cannot hold what their external circumstances are offering. They'll self-destruct the relationship, mishandle the opportunity, or talk themselves out of the very thing they said they wanted. A person who has done the quiet work of becoming internally steady, minus who has built genuine self-trust, who has learned to regulate their own emotional state, who isn't governed by panic or desperation, minus can receive bigger things and actually hold on to them. This is why so much of what precedes real expansion in a person's life isn't external hustle. It's internal repair. The relationship you have with your own mind, your own worth, your own capacity to stay calm under pressure. Minus, that is the actual infrastructure that determines whether you can receive and sustain what's coming, rather than losing it the moment it arrives. 6. 1. The version of you who receives this has already changed something important. You are not the same person who started this journey months or years ago. Even if your circumstances look identical from the outside, something internal has shifted, minus your resilience, your clarity, your understanding of what you actually want and don't want. This matters because what comes to you tends to correspond with who you've become, not who you used to be. If you've grown minus, if you've become more patient, more discerning, more grounded minus, then what's arriving in your life is being matched to that growth, even if you can't yet see the mechanism behind it. This is why looking back can be so clarifying. Notice how far you've actually come, even in ways that don't show up on a resume or a bank statement. The quiet internal growth is not separate from the external change you're hoping for. It is the foundation that makes the external change possible and sustainable. 7. Gratitude in the waiting period changes what you're able to notice. This isn't about forcing positivity or pretending everything is fine when it isn't. It's about something more practical. The human brain operates on a filtering system. It cannot process every piece of information available to it at once. So it filters based on what you've trained it to look for. A mind trained on scarcity, minus on what's missing, what hasn't arrived. What's going wrong, minus becomes extremely good at finding more evidence of scarcity. It's not pessimism. It's a trained filter doing exactly what it was trained to do. A mind that practices genuine gratitude, minus not denial, but actual appreciation for what is currently good. Even while still wanting more, minus trains a different filter, one that becomes more capable of noticing opportunity, connection, and possibility, because it's been practiced at noticing good things rather than scanning exclusively for what's wrong. This is not magical thinking. It's attention training, and the version of you that notices opportunity when it appears is the version that has been practicing, noticing good things all along. 8. Trust the timing. You cannot control minus without going passive. There is a balance here that's easy to get wrong in both directions. Some people, hearing a message like this, become completely passive, minus waiting for the universe, fate, or timing to deliver something to their door while they do nothing. That's not trust. That's avoidance, dressed up as spirituality. Others swing the opposite direction, minus gripping so tightly to control, forcing outcomes, exhausting themselves, trying to manufacture every single development through sheer will. That's not faith either. That's fear wearing the mask of ambition. The genuine middle ground is this: do the things that are actually within your control, minus show up, prepare. Take the next right action. Stay open, minus, and release your grip on the exact timing and exact form of the result. That release is not giving up. It's recognizing that some of the most important mechanics of growth happen on a timeline you don't get to dictate, and trying to force that timeline often does more damage than good. You do your part. The timing does its part. Both matter. Neither is the whole story alone. Nothing about your timeline has been a mistake. Every season that felt slower than you wanted, every door that didn't open when you knocked, every quiet stretch where nothing seemed to be happening, minus all of it, was part of a process you couldn't fully see from inside it. You are not behind. You are not overlooked. You are in the part of the story where the foundation gets built, minus quietly, invisibly, and completely necessarily, minus before the visible chapter begins. Stay steady. Keep showing up. Release the grip on exactly how and exactly when, while holding tightly to the direction you know is right for you. What's been building in you has not been wasted. It's been preparing you to actually hold what's coming. If this message reached you exactly when you needed it, subscribe. Every week on this channel, we talk about growth, resilience, and the quiet inner work that prepares us for the seasons we're hoping for. You found this for a reason. Trust that. And come back, there is more here for you.